So you're thinking of buying an OLED TV. Well, first of all, congratulations on the shiny new toy. I'm sure you will absolutely love it. And the good thing is, no matter which one you choose, you'll be sure to get an absolute stone cold stunner of a TV. So in the US, Sony and LG are pretty much your only choices. So which should you get? Well, stick around and find out. Hey guys, it's the Villaman here, home theater enthusiast and all-around tech lover. On this channel we unbox, demo, review and compare home theater audio and video devices and components. So if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I know you want to. Alright, let's get to it. Now earlier this year I had the opportunity to review some of the best TVs released this year. Among them were two of the top OLED TVs of the year, the LG C8 and the Sony A8F. Now two things about these TVs will play a huge role in our discussion. One is the fact that the A8F uses tech from Sony's 2017 A1E OLED like their Acoustic surface technology, and two, the OLED panels and the LG OLEDs are all the same, along with the picture processing, except in the case of the B8, which might not actually be a bad thing. They both offer HDR10, Dolby Vision and hybrid log gamma HDR formats. They both have 4 fully capable HDMI ports, so they'll be able to accept a 4K HDR signal, one of which is able to pass Dolby Atmos surround sound to a compatible receiver via the audio return channel, or ARC for short. They also both offer super thin designs thanks to their OLED panels, but each manufacturer has their proprietary design language, as you know. So now that the similarities are out of the way, let's delve into their more noteworthy differences that may just have an impact on your decision. Now Sony's TVs are known for their picture processing and the OLEDs are no different. In fact, I think they have the best image quality of all the TVs I reviewed this year. LG has really improved, but the Sony is still king. Then there's the sound. Now if you have an external sound system or a soundbar, then this might not matter to you much. But for those of you who live in, say, an apartment or can't use their external sound all the time for whatever reason, then here comes Sony with their acoustic surface technology to the rescue. I mean, the LG has good sound, but the Sony, man, that sound. It has a built-in subwoofer in the back of the TV and actuators behind the screen that turn the screen itself into speakers. I don't care how jaded you are, that's pretty cool. Combined, they produce some unbelievable sound for a TV. It's that good. Then there's the operating system and the design of the A8F, which are pretty subjective. You may or may not like the Android OS that runs on the TV, but I found that it was fast, responsive, and the app catalog is extensive, with everything from network TV streaming apps to mobile games. It also has a pretty monolithic design. The screen is a panel provided by LG Display and uses a WRGB panel from 2017, but it's so close to the base of the stand that the TV looks like a giant slab of screen, which, as I said, is subjective. So be careful putting it on your TV stand. Remember, you'll need those fingers to work your remote control. Speaking of which, let's segue into things that the Sony doesn't do so well. If you see my review, then you know how I feel about the Sony remote control. It is straight out of 2010. Come on Sony, there's absolutely no reason for a TV in 2018 to have a remote that still needs line of sight to communicate with the TV. The UI also isn't as user-friendly as LG's, but that's something you can learn over time. The Sony also isn't available in a 77-inch screen size, you know, for those of you who want total OLED room domination. Then there's the price. At the time of making this video in November 2018, the A8F was $400 more expensive than the LG C8 for a 65-inch and $600 more expensive for the 55-inch screen size. That difference in price may be worth it for some to get the features of the Sony, but it's still important to note nonetheless. That's pretty much it. The A8F is a really great TV. So where does that leave us with the LG? Well, I'm about to get into that. LG released a bevy of OLED TVs earlier this year, and they do so every year. As I mentioned before, they all share the same WRGB panel from LG Display, which are new for 2018. What makes these different from the 2017 panels are the larger red subpixels that they integrated. They make them more resistive to image retention. They also share the same processing, except for the B8, which essentially uses last year's image processor. And that brings me to my second point, choice. The C8 is widely agreed to be the best value of LG's 2008 lineup, since when you compare it to all the other LG OLEDs, the only thing you'll get for more money is a different design and improved sound. From the E8 with its front-firing speakers and the floating screen effect of the design, to the W8 with its ridiculous wallpaper design and attached Dolby Atmos soundbar. You really pay for those features though. And that brings me to my third point, which melds with my previous point. Price. Because of the range of OLED TVs that LG offers, they have one at a price point that's accessible to more people than Sony does. The C8 is a few $100s less expensive than the Sony A8F, while LG's E8 is a few $100s more than the C8 and a little bit more than the A8F. And the W8 costs twice as much as everything. What can I say? Crazy design have crazy prices to match. Go figure, right? In fact, the W8's closest competitor is Sony's A9F Master Series TV, which was just released, which is pretty much the best TV released all year. If that's too rich for your blood though, and if the C8 is more money than you care to spend, then the B8 is a viable option. But right now, it's only a couple $100s less expensive than the C8. As I mentioned earlier, it doesn't have the same processing as the C8, but the real world difference is negligible unless you are comparing them side by side and looking for those differences, like I did with my 2016 B6 OLED and the C8. So use that knowledge how you may. Then there's the UI and usability of LG's WebOS. The OS is very intuitive and user-friendly, from the magic remote to the pop-ups that show you what type of HDR signal that's being displayed. But on the flip side, there's the App Store, and that's the first negative. The App Store compared to Android is pretty much a ghost town. Key streaming apps like many network TV apps or HBO Now still aren't available in the App Store, so if you want more choices in apps, you'll have to get an add-on box like an Apple TV 4K, the new Fire Stick 4K, or ironically an Android streaming box. The design, which is again subjective, can give some pause. The stand is big, wide, and borders on the obnoxious. I found that it can often reflect the picture in a dark room, which can often be distracting. But besides those two, there's really no other noteworthy negatives to mention. The fact is that OLEDs from both LG and Sony have stunning picture quality and good to great sound to go along with it. I did a comparison of the C8 and Samsung's Q9F QLED a few months ago, and I wish I could have compared the two OLEDs to each other, but there's always next time, right? That's it for me in this video. I hope you found this guide useful, and if so, smash that like button. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for everything home theater audio and video. Also, let me know what you think of each of these TVs or which one you plan to get in the comments below. Maybe we can see which one is more popular. Until next time, this has been your friendly neighborhood villa man saying peace.